Hello and welcome to the Gooner Talk, back again with you guys for another episode of our tactical breakdown series, our show in which we look at the players that have been linked to Arsenal and break them down in an analytical and statistical way with the help of some expert insight. I'm very happy today to be joined by Sasha Tavalieri. How are you doing, mate? You good, Joel?
I'm fine, thank you. It's a really big pleasure to be with you. Just for information, I receive a lot of invitation. The one I accept is yours, so I'm really very happy here.
Thanks, mate. I appreciate it. Well, of course, we've been doing shows for it must be a couple of years or so now. By this point, we've talked about Amadou Onana, in the past. Yuri Tillemans we've discussed as well. And so whenever there's a Belgian player that I'm curious to know more about, you're my go-to. So I'm absolutely honoured, as always, to be joined by you, Sasha, and to catch up again on things. How have things been? Have you enjoyed the season?
Yes, it was a big season. Really, really important. As now I'm commenting the Italian Championship for Sky Sports. But in Switzerland. So I was 100% on the Italian league for this season, plus European competition. Sorry, for the Belgium club, and all my production and something like this. So that I was busy to do. So it was a big season. If you don't count, of course, the World Cup, and also the fact I worked during the transfer window, and I worked during the Christmas. So it was a really, really for me a joy to say, okay, let's go. Now I will enjoy a bit of holidays, and now I did these holidays, and now I'm working, but in a slower mood because I need it.
Oh, indeed. No, football never sleeps, and unfortunately, we need to at times. So, yeah, I don't blame you for slowing down somewhat in in what's still going to be a very hectic summer window. Lots of Belgian players making the moves as well across Europe and into different leagues as well. And I'm sure that if Arsenal, of course, are linked with further Belgian players, we'll be having a chat about it. But we're here today to talk about Timothy Castagne, the Leicester City fullback. I don't say right back because he can play on either flank and he's a versatile option if Arsenal want to move for him. Before we go into kind of the player himself, tell us the latest, if you like, on Castagne. What's happening with this transfer? How did this come about, and where are we kind of at the moment?
Yeah, yes, of course. So things moved a lot regarding the Timothy Castagne these days because Arsenal got the volunteer after talks with the agent to see how it could work with Leicester City. So they go for a talk with the Leicester City bosses, and they got the confirmation that if there is a deal to do, they would be really open to do it. Fact is that Leicester wants to go as fast as possible. As you know, they have to close the budget before the 30 June. So this is for every club, but it's also really important for Leicester that needed to sell during the winter transfer window during the winter, and that need also to sell more this summer. So if they could get some players quickly, they would be really happy. That's why I wrote yesterday that the deal could be really quick, because Leicester was asking to say, okay, if we can do a deal quickly, we will be really happy, and we can maybe also be a bit conciliant about the price in order to make it a bit lower, of course. Or we want money, we need cash, so we are keen to make a step forward to Arsenal so that they can make it. So that was a bit the situation. You have to know something is that Timothy Castagne is a dream kid. His dream kid is to play for Arsenal. So he was really, his football education was made by the older generation with Arsene Wenger, Thierry Henry, Robert Pires, Patrick Vieira, and so on. So he really, appreciated Arsenal from the heart, and he knows that he is the kind of player that told, okay, if I have to wait until the last second before to go to Arsenal will be my priority. And this is something also important. I never mentioned it on Twitter, but I will do it for you. The first choice of Castagne, if there is a choice to do, will be 100% Arsenal, because he wants to he wants to realize his dream. That's also really important to signify.
Yeah, and I think that obviously Arsenal have got the benefit of having time at this moment in this position. They don't have as much time when it comes to some of their other midfield targets like Declan Rice and Moises Caicedo. They want to do those quickly, but I think they want to make the right choice when it comes to fullback. And knowing that Castagne sees Arsenal as a priority will certainly allow them time to make a decision. And of course, as you reported first when you first broke the information about Castagne, is that Ivan Fresneda remains a very clear target for Arsenal as well. And obviously that deal is not done, despite some claims from Germany that Dortmund have agreed a deal. As far as I'm aware, that's not happened at this moment in time, and it's still an open race, but it could change obviously very quickly. You've probably noticed in response to your tweeting of these as is with transfers and tweeting that you get a lot of responses from fans about their views on the player, and the view on Castagne it's not been massively positive. I've obviously been doing my morning shows and seeing the live responses. I see it now in our chat box as we're doing this live. People already, not very keen on Castagne. Do you think people are underrating him, or do you think people are right to have reservations about him?
I think that you don't have to put into your mind the fact that Castagne will be a key player for your team. If you get that in mind, of course you will underrated him. This is sure. Fact is that this is a versatile player that is able also to play on all the position. So really important also for this type of game and the style of play that Mikel Arteta wants to put on. Able also to help the team and without a big ego. And this is the most important thing for Castagne. If you get Cancelo, because I saw a lot of people say, yes, they will do the same as last summer. They will go for they did go for Zinchenko. Now they will back again for Cancelo because he loves it. He knows it because he was at Manchester City at that time and so on. Problem is that human problem was the key when he was at Manchester City. And I don't believe that Mikel Arteta isn't aware of this. And he knows that all what he wants to bring into his squad is a squad that is really conscious and that can make all the effort and all the work necessary to continue the step forward they made this season, this amazing season. So it's important also to know that Castagne is the Arsenal board and also all the scouting staff think about the opportunity of Castagne, saying, okay, this guy will be one of our soldier. He will be there if we need him, and he will not be really angry if he's not always on the starting 11. And this is really important because everybody know that Ben White made an amazing season as a right back. And also at the left back, there are some possibilities to see maybe Zinchenko or the player on also a priority on Timothy Castagne. Whenever he will be on the right, on the left, it will be the same. So they know also that this is a sort of player they can join into the squad and be really interesting as a sub, and he will not cost much. And this is also something important. Of course, the salary will be important because we are in Premier League, but he will stay with the same salary he did with Leicester. Also, I understand that his salary should decrease if he stays in Championship. That wouldn't be the case 100%. He will leave, but that's a bit how I see it. An opportunity, interesting, a player that dreamed about playing for Arsenal, and also that will give 100% when he will be on the pitch, and that will not complain when he wouldn't play.
Obviously, I see plenty of people still, have their doubts. What I would say is, just to kind of caveat this as well, is that he's a player that tends to be available. He was the 20th most used player in the Premier League last season with over 3,200 minutes. Only 19 more players played more minutes than him. for Belgium, a team that has been ranked world number one for a long time up until the World Cup, and Argentina and France have since overtaken them. But for quite some time, Belgium have been the number one nation in the world ranked by FIFA. And he started their last, I want to say, 7 games, I think, for them, playing in the Nations League, friendlies, the World Cup. He played all their group stage games from the start. He's played in a variety of positions, be it right back, centre back, even, and left back as well for Belgium. This is someone that's playing, at an elite level regularly and always. And actually, people question maybe some of the statistics to do with him and how he plays. In terms of his tackles per 90, 2.4 is up there with Fresneda, higher than that in terms of frequency than Ben White, but his success rate with those tackles, 70.9%. Of the tackles that you get involved with, he wins, which is the same as Fresneda. Defensively, he's sound, would you say?
Yes, of course. And also, he's, as I say, an impactful player. That wants to say that if he had to do 13 kilometers on 90 minutes, he will be able to do it. So, and that's really, really important when you are in Premier League. Also, a player that is not fragile, so able to have a sort of continuity. And when you see that some of the defenders of Arsenal had problems this season, so he will be also that kind of profile who can help, who can be really close to the coach, and also answer to the problems that could be happening this season in defense. So I don't say that he will be the key player once again, but he has a lot of physical qualities that can join what Arteta wants.
Aerially as well, 47% of his aerial duels he's winning, which is impressive. Interceptions, he's better than both Fresneda and Ben White in terms of those per 90. And clearances, he comes out well as well, 3.04 and 1.38 blocks per 90 as well. He's ranking highly. Now, of course, there is the caveat that he played for Leicester, a team that were under the cosh a lot more defensively than Arsenal were this season comparatively. But coming up against those sides in the Premier League, he's done well. Passing is where we start to see the dips, passing to the final third and passes into the penalty area. He's not ranking as highly as Ben White in these examples. Shot creating actions per 90, again, both Ben White and Fresneda creating more opportunities per 90. That said, though, he ended the season with 2 goals and 3 assists. Fresneda had 0 in each, and Ben White ended with 2 goals as well, but 5 assists in his case. I think that maybe there is an element of people underrating Castagne. I think that's natural. Arsenal obviously finishing second in the table, signing a player that got relegated. People aren't necessarily going to be too enthused about that. What I would say is that look what happened with Aaron Ramsdale. Relegated with Sheffield United. Arsenal signed him and he's now one of the best goalkeepers in the world. So it would be naive, I think, to underestimate the player. I know that you've not reported on a potential price tag, and I'm not going to push you to ask you in terms of what you think will be expected from Leicester, but in your opinion, how much do you think he's worth as a player?
Believe between 15 pounds and 20 pounds. So it will be the same price or a bit cheaper than Fresneda or Cancelo for sure. So that's also a good point that can count into the Castagne's perspective, because you see that this is surely a player that wouldn't cost a lot, and due to the reason I just told you before. So Leicester is able to talk, has talked with Arsenal, is okay for making a deal, and is searching for selling the player as quick as possible. So they need money, and they want to start quickly rebuilding their stuff, rebuilding also their team with another team, but build it for the championship, not for the Premier League, so with another budget. That's all why the price could be as that level. So 15 to 20 maximum.
Yeah, I think that's probably a fair valuation of the player, considering the length of contract left, considering his age as well, being in his prime, and the fact he's been relegated with Leicester as well. We've got about 5 more minutes left. I'm going to open the opportunity up to the chat box if you'd like to throw some questions. But whilst I've got you, Sasha, here, and obviously talking about Belgian players, remember that our last conversation we had was about Yuri Tielemans, and we saw Yuri Tielemans leave Leicester as well and sign for Aston Villa on a free. It's a club that obviously Arsenal have seen players they've been linked with in the past move to. We saw Emi Buendia, who was linked heavily with Arsenal, move there. and I think Camara as well was a player when he was at Marseille, linked with Arsenal too. I feel as though that maybe that move by Tielemans represents what was perhaps a disappointing final year at Leicester for him, and maybe with the way Arsenal progressed to a team that was challenging for a title rather than a team challenging for a Champions League place. Do you think that maybe Arsenal outgrew the Tielemans profile somewhat?
To be honest, I think it's the Tielemans entourage that lost the war, because
Okay.
they told to everyone, we want to stay until the end of the season. They got an agreement for it, but fact is that Arsenal put one offer, sorry, on the table, and another that was in preparation before the end of the transfer window in winter. But Leicester told that the player that they wouldn't sell the player even if he had 6 months left, because he was really important for the Leicester team. He was the captain, and they said, okay, you will leave free, but we need you to save the team, because they were afraid of the relegation, and of course they got relegated. So they say, okay, right, we will not push for it, but fact is that he did a second part of season absolutely awful. So Arsenal said, okay, we like him, but we saw that there are other players that were, first of all, our priorities, and that are going to do more and going to be more and more our priority regarding what's going on with Tielemans. So he downgrades absolutely into the mind of a lot of clubs, and that's why he had, I think, an offer. It was on Monday, last Monday. He got the offer for Unai Emery. They got an agreement on Wednesday, and Thursday it was announced. Because Tielemans wanted to go on holidays, being fixed by the fact he plays in Premier League or he plays in another club next season. And he told to his entourage, and he said to his family, okay, I want to go on holidays and knowing where I will be next season with a good project. And fact is that the only concrete club that posed an offer was Aston Villa with Unai Emery, and they did good. But we will see, because we know that they have some automatism with Leander Dondonker. So in the midfield could be interesting. But definitely they lost absolutely all, because they could deserve more and bigger clubs as Arsenal. But they did shit, and he did shit on the pitch. I'm sorry.
Yeah. No,
Yes.
fair enough. Couple questions. Going back to Castagne from Russ, he says, do you think that the passing wise of Castagne being on the poor side is down to the fact he's in that Leicester team? And do you think that if he was a switch to Arsenal, we would see a significant improvement in Castagne's profile?
First of all, he is a great worker. So yes, Russ Morgan has true. He is a player able to make a lot of progress really, really quickly. I'm sorry, because my WhatsApp is ringing. I will just quit, and now it will be good. And of course,
it was Castagne. I'm coming to Arsenal.
Yes, you don't mind how much I've been contacted. To be honest, I think that he will be really interesting for Mikel Arteta, because, of course, he got a lot of defensive qualities that hasn't Ben White. And Ben White is able to do a lot of things in the point of view of the offensive construction of the game of Arsenal that Timothy Castagne wouldn't be able to do. And that's really impressive. He got the Italian knowledge of how to defend. And this is key. And Arteta know that all the players that he got into his list, maybe there are names that we didn't get for the moment. We are not all Fabrizio Romano, so we don't know all the names. I'm kidding, of course. But there is a certainty, is that if he wants to go on that player, he wants to go because he know that he will complete the quality that hasn't, and that couldn't get, of course, Ben White. And that's why also he want to do it, because also, as I did tell you, the poor side is that offensively he wouldn't bring all what Arteta is waiting for a defender. But fact is that he can be a central back, he can be a left back, he can work on a 3 defenders, because he did with Belgium. He can work with 4. So you know how amazing it could be for a coach as Arteta to get that type of player. All his contenders, I don't think they can do tactically all what able is to do our friend Timothy Castagne.
Final question for you from our mutual friend, Andrew Thompson, Drew Thompson. Always great to see you, Drew, in the chat. Sasha, great to see you on. With Arsenal reportedly interested in a versatile attacking player this summer, do you think Jeremy Doku would be ready to make the jump from the club Stade Rennes?
Oh, I just I got information on this, so I can put it. I can tell you. For the moment, Stade Rennais is asking for 50 million euros. So this is a good big price. They don't. They are. I think they understand that they will get offer, so they are putting this price, telling, okay, in the market we don't have the type of player of Jeremy Doku. And it will be difficult to bring another Jeremy Doku if he leaves Stade Rennais. So we will ask a big price so that we can try to find a replacement interesting. And that's what the directors of Stade Rennais is thinking about. But to be honest, he talked with all the Premier League. The Premier League has talked with Jeremy Doku's entourage during here from March to June. So Arsenal is of course involved into that, and this is true. So it's kind of player Mikel Arteta can go on, and it's type of player Edu Gaspar. So it's really it's not something like you say, okay, he's type of player, he could be interesting. That's great. No, Doku is a super top player. If he got 100% his level, my friend, he have the same potential as Mane. I'm sorry to say it, but the thing is that he was really fragile. But if you don't see that kind of aspect and you just look at his ability on the pitch to make the difference, my friend, he is one of the best attacking player of France and of the French league. So I believe really big clubs will be on. I think that Liverpool, Newcastle, West Ham, that kind of clubs are going a bit more on him. But I know that Arsenal also like this player. And as I told you, they talk with all the Premier League, top Premier League, of course. So they talk with Arsenal for sure.
Sasha, thank you so much for giving your time to us this afternoon / this evening. I really appreciate it. It's always an absolute pleasure to join up with you and catch up. And I'm sure that it probably won't be the last time we have a chat about some Belgian player being linked to Arsenal. It's inevitable that it will happen again. But tell people where they can find you and what you're going to be up to over the summer.
Yes, of course. You can find me on Twitter. So ACHTAVOLIERI. Sasha Tavoleri, and you can also, if you want to get a bit of entertainment, see the last movie I did with Amadou Onana on YouTube. So enjoy. It's in English subtitle, so for people who are not understanding French, we think about you, and maybe you will be really surprised because we see Amadou Onana singing, talking about things, crying, and something like this. So I tease you good, I hope, but you will enjoy for sure.
Need to check it out. What would they need to search into YouTube if they wanted to find it?
I guess you just have to type my name, so Sasha Tavoleri, and you will find everything because it's my name. So
it's under your name, yeah. Lovely stuff. So just Amadou Onana and Sasha Tavoleri, you'll find it come up if you want to give that a watch. I would recommend it. I know there's a lot of fans of Onana in the chat box. Make sure, if you haven't done so already, to drop a like on the video and subscribe to the channel. We continue to bring you these updates and breakdowns of all of Arsenal's transfer targets across the course of the transfer window. Tomorrow morning, of course, we'll be bringing you all the latest regarding what's happened the last 24 hours on our morning 8 a.m. show, including plenty more of Sasha's information on Castagne. So I look forward to that. Have a fantastic evening, morning, afternoon, wherever you happen to be in the world. It's been an absolute pleasure to speak with you and join you as always, and we'll see you on the next one. Have a fantastic one, and as always, up the Arsenal.
Bye.